It has been a long time coming, but Dissidia has finally returned once again, and the third entry in the series acts as the most competitive of the 3 titles. Seeing as Dissidia wasn't solely worked on by Square Enix this time around, changes are definitely to be expected. After all, this game was originally built for Japanese arcades a few years ago. The biggest change is the main 3-on-3 battles. Characters have access to a basic attack button that can change based on your directional inputs, and one bravery attack that does direct damage to your enemy's health bar. Timing your attacks correctly, and knowing when exactly the right moment is to unleash a bravery attack is the main hook of Dissidia Final Fantasy's fighting. That hasn't changed, and it still works here.
There is no one to help you now.
It would seem that my cue...
Traitor!
There are a lot of cool ways you can turn the tide of battle too, like EX skills and summons. EX skills are different spells and buffs you can use to either impair the other team or help your own. Summons require you and your teammates to attack a crystal until you gain enough power. Once that happens, your summon will ravage the other team, typically draining them of all of their bravery points. If you're against one, they are avoidable, but it can prove to be pretty difficult to stop them. There are 28 characters, mostly consisting of the main cast from Final Fantasy 1 through 15, and even Ace from Type 0 and Ramza from Tactics make their debut. There's plenty of variety, even with the game's simple control scheme, all of the characters manage to feel unique. Speaking of the characters, there is a story here, but it feels very shoehorned in and doesn't really match up to the quality fans of the main series might expect. Sure, it is a game about characters from a long-running JRPG series crossing over, but there was a certain charm to the PSP titles that's very much lacking in this game's story, or at least that's just my opinion. For one, it's made up of a bunch of sequences that you unlock by playing other modes in the game and leveling up. This ends up making the story feel fragmented, and the encounters in it aren't nearly as interesting as I'd hoped they'd be. There's not much focus on the actual characters and their rivalries. Instead, the game has a very boring plot that doesn't really do anything too interesting. There's one other competitive mode included in Dissidia called Core Battle. It's a fun distraction that changes up how you play, but it's not nearly unique enough to be the only other mode. There is a very crazy single-player mode where you and 2 AI companions fight one of Dissidia's awesome summons. It's a crime that this mode cannot be played online with friends, and I hope they'll consider giving the community the opportunity to fight against the summons alongside one another. The game is also filled to the brim with music, costumes, weapons, and a variety of other unlockables that celebrate the series' large cast of heroes and villains. The music in particular is extra awesome in this game, containing some solid remixes and original pieces. Even with 15+ hours of gameplay, I'm still finding a lot of new stuff. Dissidia Final Fantasy is a competitive fighting game that's very approachable and can make for some enjoyable experiences. Obviously, the game will feel a lot better if you have friends online that you can communicate with. The community this title can build will ultimately determine its staying power, and I think it's definitely possible with the right adjustments going forward.
You got the short end of the stick.
You can check out the full written review at DualShockers.com.